Yo, yo, what's good, man? I got a real quick message for y'all talking about how this journey is literally focused on relationship with God and how culture itself weighs heavy on a person's perspective of God. Now, you don't know what perspective mean. It just means like a mental view or a mental consideration of a thing. That's all that word perspective mean. Now, number one, the most important thing of this entire journey is to keep this in your head. It's all about relationship, bro. It's all about relationship. That's so important. It needs to stay in the forefront of your minds, of our minds. It needs to stay in the forefront of our minds because as soon as you remove or forget that we're after deeper relationship with a person, keyword deeper, by the way, deeper relationship with a person, you gonna be left with nothing but traditions of men. When you move having a relationship or seeking a relationship, you're gonna be left with traditions of men. And then guess what we doing now? Chasing religious actions that ain't confirming no type of intimacy at all. Does that make sense? We're not after knowledge only or knowledge of God, bro. We after relationship. That needs to be so important. With no substance, all we got left is philosophy. You dig what I'm saying? Now, remembering this is about a relationship with another person, we stay away from self-seeking, selfishness, aka own understanding only. Do that make sense? A relationship is literally what validates the other person or confirms the other person in the relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? Anybody on this planet can say that they have the best relationship with God ever. Anybody can say that, bro. While God can literally say and be valid when he says it, I don't even know who you are. Which, yes, that would suck, but it would be true. Like, for example, women, you can't just go to like Drake or Chris Brown house or go on his property in a wedding dress because you thought by yourself, that's my husband. Yo, you might not be getting no wedding ring that day. You might get some other type of wrist jewelry from officer whoever and catch a lift in the back of a police car because Drake don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You only thought once. You did what I'm saying? But look, the one that we seeking relationship with is God, yes. The one we're seeking relationship with is God, yes. And God does know everything. But the bigger point is, because it's God, you can't fake none of this. You can't halfway do none of this. You can't fake God out. Because God is the one we trying to seek the relationship with. You can't fake nothing. God knows everybody's hearts, but the problem is we don't know our own hearts. Most of us, we don't know our own hearts. We think we do, and we probably deceive ourselves all day long, but I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm praying that, this is making sense and I'm not talking too fast. I'm not trying to hold y'all too long neither, though. So stepping outside of self for a perspective is key when desiring to be with somebody else. Why? Because it's not all about you. It's not all about you. Now, let me speak on culture real quick. I'm stepping off that and I'm going to talk about culture real quick. That's enough about the relationship part. Let me jump on culture real quick. Culture is a set of values, social practices, activities, like societal characteristics, okay? Now, in short, culture is like a unique way of living and plays a significant role on a person or people group perspective on things, the way people mentally see things. Culture even grooms the way that a person receives information, if you know what I'm talking about. So culture can groom even the characteristics of a person or people group, but essence breaks every boundary, every barrier of culture because essence is the most important quality of a thing, a person. Now, why and how does it break culture's hold? Because it confirms the subject universally, regardless of opinions, emotions, perspectives, don't matter, culture, none of that. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. On this journey, we are seeking intimacy with God. And here on earth, that 3-letter word does not bring the same understanding to multitudes of people. Why? Because the essence is lost. Because the essence is lost. The most important quality or characteristic of God being removed, in part, is why there are so many gods on earth today. And I'm going to tell you why. Here on earth, in numerous cultures, the culture itself has become the God. All right, now look at this. Look at this. You got to look at this. Watch this. Depending on our positions on earth and even in the realm of the spirit, depending on our position, that determines what dimensions of God that we are perceiving. Do you see this? You see how everybody they're standing on these little things right here. That represents the foundations, okay? As we build knowledge, this creates our foundations, and that's what's known as culture. Look at all the little thought bubbles and how everybody got, you know what I'm saying, different measures of knowledge, and then in the little thought bubbles, they got different thoughts. You see what I'm saying? Because depending on their position determines, you know what I'm saying, the dimensions of God that they're perceiving. Does that make sense? Every culture has a unique perspective of God. That's why there's different thought bubbles. You see what I'm saying? Now, when culture becomes God, those traditions, those foundations, they become religions. You see what I'm saying? Now the practices and the perspectives, the values, even the characteristics are not being cultivated by God, but by man, because there's no relationship had. It's only traditions. There's no relationship, so there's no essence. There's no confirmations of nothing. There's no validating nothing because there's no other person. There's no relationship. So now it's left completely to man or even surrounding spirits, not God. You see what I'm saying? Think about this. Why do in a lot of cultures they are so dependent on talking to their ancestors and etc. Because they can't talk to God because they ain't got no relationship with him. So they got to go back to their ancestors. They can't talk to God because they're super codependent on their traditions. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you actually get into a relationship with God, look, essence remains intact, bruh. And it confirms the subject universally because the most important quality or characteristic is always the same, regardless of the culture or the perspective. Look at it. Look. Being in a relationship with God continues to build and strengthen foundations, aka your cultures. You see what I'm saying? This makes cultures more beautiful because the uniqueness and diversity is still there. Essence remains, even when different cultures come together. You see what I'm saying? You can build. Knowledge increases. And we all still talking about the same thing through diverse perspectives. You see, it's right there. So, look, I hope I sort of cracked open a little understanding on the next video. We about to begin the 7th message. I don't know how long that's going to be now. I don't even know how many parts it's going to be, but yeah, so 7th message is coming, y'all. God bless y'all. I know I spoke kind of fast. It still was kind of long, but God bless y'all. Love y'all. Until the next time, man.